Hello, we are Laura, Yecid, Ruben, and Daniel from English 4 of the National University of Colombia. We will show you a Colombian table game called Parques, derived from the Spanish Parqués and this at the same time of the old Parchisi or Chowpar of India. The goal of the game is to make a full turn with all the ships. A board is used for 4, 6, or 8 people. However, this can be played from 2 people onwards, preferably over 5 years old by the number of rules that are handled. The board that we will take as an example to explain the rules is the one that is designed for 4 people, or in the form of a cross. This has 96 squares and their respective prisons. A prison is the starting place of the ships of each player. There are 12 special boxes, 8 of insurance and 4 of exit. Each player has 4 ships, however you can play with less, in addition to 2 dice. It is a game of thinking influenced by chance. The turn is passed on the right and the goal is to take all the ships to the end using different strategies that we will explain below. Importance. It's important for the Colombian culture because it is a way to spend time with friends or family through a fun game where you can bet and it is uncertain who will have the luck to win. Now we will see some rules.
In general, special box cage jails are decorated with images of popular culture such as photos of authors. Emblems of soccer teams, the most common being the last to begin with when there are only 2 players. The jails remain diagonal and when there are 3 easy discussed who wins the log. That is to say, the son that to the rig doesn't have an opponent, by means of which obtains greater number in the dice. Keepers are also used to remove jail cards. With 6 to 6 or 1 to 1, the 4 tiles can be drawn. With any other pair, only 2 can be drawn. The lowest value to draw is 1 to 1, because in some positions, when there are few chips or only on in play, because the others are already in the final box or in jail. If you have a chip at 4 and you have 4 to 6, you will have to move the sum to complete. Chips are similar to chess pawns, and each player has specific colored chips, as well as his jail and chess balls. The dice moves the round, and this value in the amount of boxes that the player must move. It is recommended to use it as a strategy, since it should be avoided that the opponent made your chips and you return to the beginning.
When the same value is drawn in both dice, it is called pairs, and the turn is repeated. In case of having a single chip in the middle, and if the players obtain pairs to relate it, the player must move the equivalent of a dice. For example, if he got 4-4, he must move 4 steps. There are 2 types of insurance: insurance and out. In the outlets, the only way to send to jail is that a tap is related to that exit box. When you get 3 times pairs, you have the possibility to take a chip, the most advanced of the board. This gives you a great advantage over the other players, or you can choose roll normal and re-roll the dice. In some versions of the game, omitting to send to the jail the counter of an opponent will mean that the end file will go to jail because of the omission. On arrival, you must get the exact value to arrive at the winning box.
If there is only one remaining tile for a player, the others have already reached the goal, and this tile can reach the goal with less than 6 steps. The player must only use one dice. It's necessary to be clear that always is killed by right. For example, there are 2 chips that are killed with 3 and the opposite player takes 3 and 6. It's killed with the most advanced. It's always mandatory to remove the cards from the jail even if you can capture another card with the value obtained when launching the dice. If you capture and don't remove the cards, in jail will send the jail move. You can remove a token from the jail and capture with the same card in a single shot of dice, unless it's the only one you have. You must wait for the next shot. Problems. You should always have a board and complete cards for all players, in addition to 2 dice, which is considered a problem because you don't have access to this all the time. Sometimes finishing the game requires a lot of time. In case of bearing, problems arise when playing. And finally, when someone doesn't know how to play, explaining the rules is costly because of this large quantity and complexity in some cases. Now it's just practice.